So here I am, and I just finished listening to Sumisola Agbebi's song. It's called Aileyipada, and it means one who cannot change. I'm trying to make sure that's the literal meaning. He cannot change, and that's talking about God. And the song just broke me down. And God is reminding me of his truth as I listen to the song. The first thing he reminds me of is because he corrects us does not mean that he cancels us. We're in a cancel culture. And God does correct. But that's not the same thing as canceling. And I think that for God's children or for people who have heard of God, sometimes you feel like because God corrects you, maybe he's canceled you. He will not cancel you. Why? Because he loves you. This same God is love. He really loves his creation. He does want us to do good. He wants us to be holy because we are his creation, but because being holy does us good. The things that he tells us not to do is because he loves us. So when he's correcting, it is not to destroy. That is not God's intention. God is not one who is wicked and he just wants to see you and me being destroyed. But God is one who refines. God is one who prunes because he wants to bring the best out of us. So it was really comforting to hear God tell me that he is sovereign. That means he can do anything. But he also reminded me that he is loving. He's sovereign, he can do anything, but he is also loving. And because he is good and kind and loving, you can know that even if you are in a period right now that looks like you're suffering and you're in pain, you can trust that this sovereign God who can do anything is also a loving God. And because he is a loving God, he will make things work together for your good at their time. God is also the one who holds time in his hands. He sits out of time, inside time, after time. So we are bound by time. And many times when we're going through hard situations, we just think that's all that there is. It's always going to be hard. But we have a God who has seen after where we are, and he knows what this time will do for the future. So sometimes he lets us go through this time because of the future. Most of these things will not make sense to us in the moment, but God knows. He is trustworthy. God is trustworthy. God is faithful. And because he is trustworthy and because he is faithful, we should hold on to him. I'm reminding myself of this truth. I'm not preaching at you. I'm actually preaching to myself to remind myself that this loving God, who is sovereign, he is kind, and he will not go back on his word. If he has said it, he will do it. If he has said it, he will do it. There are times that God tells me things and I'm like, okay, God, when I'm going through hard times, I start wondering, did you mean it? Did I read your word out of context? Maybe I'm believing for what you didn't say, or maybe you changed your mind. And God has been telling me of late, like, I didn't change my mind, girl. Because you're walking through what you're walking through does not mean I changed my mind. You got to believe me. And I just pray, God, help my unbelief. And I don't know if that's your prayer too. God, help my unbelief. He's going to help us. Amen.